Hey, this morning we are taking a closer look at the body camera video that from a Clear Creek deputy who shot and killed Christian Glass earlier this summer.
We didn't really know what happened until his family got a hold of officers' body camera video. Here's Steve Steger.
4 hours after Christian Glass lay dead on a street in Silver Plume, the Sheriff's Department released this one page detailing what happened that night. 8 paragraphs that seem to tell a different story than the video does. After deputies responded to a car crash, the release says the driver, quote, immediately became argumentative.
How about you step out of the vehicle?
Christian Glass doesn't really argue, other than insist he'd rather stay in the car. The release claimed that he'd armed himself with a knife. The video shows he offered to throw his rock hunting knives out, but deputies told him not to.
Because you already said you have weapons in the car.
Okay, I'm gonna pass them out. Can I throw them?
No, do not throw them out. Do not touch them. Do not reach for them.
The release says officers tried to bring the situation to a peaceful solution. The fact is, it was relatively peaceful for nearly 70 minutes until the piece that's missing from this press release, when deputies decide to smash open Christian's window, which freaks him out. He grabs a geology knife. They shoot him with beanbag rounds, tase him. And finally, when he motions toward a nearby officer, the deputy shoots him 5 times.
It didn't make sense to us because our son didn't carry weapons, they were rock tools, and he's never ever hurt anyone.
Those 8 paragraphs.
They put out a false report to the media, and no one even bothered to check for accuracy or for truthfulness.
They were all this family knew for weeks before video revealed the truth.
We recently found out that it was false in almost every respect. Still, it did the job. It cast a pall over the funeral, a grotesque act of cruelty.
Now, we did ask the Clear Creek County Sheriff why so much was missing from the press release, and now after seeing the video, Glass's parents say they want someone to be held accountable.
If you commit a crime, it doesn't matter who you are. If you're a member of the public, if you're a member of police force, I think we all have to be held accountable. And if this was a member of public that shot Christian 5 times, he'd be in jail.
The Clear Creek County Sheriff's Office would only tell us that the deputy who killed Glass is back on patrol. Prosecutors and state investigators are reviewing the shooting.
This week, there will be a memorial service for the Arvada police officer who was shot and killed while breaking up a fight over last weekend. Officer Dylan Vakoff was shot early Sunday morning while he and another officer were checking on 2 kids. When they got to the apartments on West 51st Avenue, they found family members in the street fighting. Police say that a man shot a woman and then eventually shot Vakoff. The woman is expected to survive. Vakoff's memorial service this Friday at Flatirons Community Church in Lafayette. It starts at 10 o'clock in the morning. The man charged in that shooting, Sonny Almanza, is still in the hospital. His attorneys were in court for the first time yesterday. Almanza will not be given bond. He's being investigated for charges including murder of a peace officer, attempted murder, and child abuse.
New this morning, more than 30,000 cars have been stolen from the Denver metro area so far this year. That's a 20% increase from the same time period in 2021, according to the latest report from the Metropolitan Auto Theft Task Force. 9 News reporter John Glasgow has been following this trend of auto theft across Colorado. And John, police find a lot of stolen cars, not necessarily the people who stole them, though.
Yeah, that's right. 93% of the time they recover the vehicles here in the Denver metro. Some are dumped on the side of the road. Others are used in more violent crimes. So we wanted to know, how often do crime labs link a suspect to those stolen cars? What we found here in Aurora is that they are overwhelmed with evidence. When a stolen car turns up in the Denver metro,
they could be just the same with a few extra miles and a little bit less gas, or they could come back completely destroyed.
Sergeant Faith Goodrich with the Aurora Police Department says every vehicle found is processed. And unlike your favorite crime show, in real life, this process takes time.
We do in law enforcement fight this CSI effect, this belief that we can solve any crime within 40 minutes based upon these non-existent databases.
Crime scene collection is time-consuming, labor-intensive, and requires expert training. Laverna Murr leads Aurora's police CSI unit. Her team dusts for fingerprints, uses DNA swabs, and inspects stolen vehicles for evidence inside and out.
And the CSI shows out there show that, you get one DNA profile and it's going to give you the name, date of birth, where they work, their favorite pizza. That is not true to life.
Sometimes the team finds just a fraction of a fingerprint. That could bring up multiple suspects in the system or none at all.
Because a lot of times these offenders, especially if they're juveniles, haven't been arrested, so their fingerprints aren't necessarily in the computer.
In either case, they save and store the DNA samples. Aurora saw a nearly 35% increase in stolen cars over the last year. And since Aurora police say that they're seeing so many repeat offenders, there's a good chance even a partial print could lead them to a suspect down the road.
A lot of these suspects are armed and they are willing to shoot it out.
Aurora police say these investigations take time to build cases and to make arrests.
We understand, the police department understands that it is your highest priority, that it is affecting your life and you've been victimized, and we will get to it.
Yeah, so there is a bit of a backlog there. And not only that, the CSI members, they have to go to homicides, they go to search warrants, autopsies as well. So they're overwhelmed with those other cases as well as these stolen cars. Now, they do say that they have 7 members, but they'd like to increase that to 12. They do get the officers. There's a portion of them here that are trained with basic CSI knowledge, but for the most part, it would be better to get the experts out to investigate these stolen cars. And ultimately that would shorten the amount of time for you to get your car back, because they do need that time to process the car before you can actually get it back from the police department. But yeah, they work around the clock, 7 days a week, 24 hours a day.
I know, it's so interesting. People think it's like those CSI shows where they can just find a fingerprint and someone's in the system and they find it the next day, and that's just not how it works in reality. So, John, did Aurora police say if there's anything people can do in case their car is stolen?
Well, the one thing you can do to protect your car is get one of those clubs. That locks the steering wheel. That makes it nearly impossible for a thief to steal your car. However, when people don't have that, the other thing I thought was really interesting is they said to keep your car clean. You know, oftentimes you have trash, you might have some empty cups from a fast food restaurant. All of that makes it more complicated for them because they have to DNA swab everything. They're not sure what was the thief's and what was yours that was left behind. So the cleaner you can keep your car might actually help their investigation.
Wow, that is interesting. Okay, well, good to know. John, thank you.
On CSI, they only have an hour to solve the crime.
Right, and it happens just like that.
Yeah, exactly. All right, this morning, a hunter is in the hospital after deputies say a moose attacked him. The hunter had fired an arrow at the moose first. Larimer County Sheriff's Office says the man was bow hunting in a remote area along Long Draw Road on Highway 14. Just before noon, they got a distress call from the man's GPS. Detectives say that he shot an arrow at the moose and missed. The moose got upset and charged at him. Other hunters helped the man hike out part of the way. Deputies helped him onto a helicopter and they took him to the hospital. He is expected to recover. Well, according to Colorado Parks and Wildlife, over the last 9 years, 15 moose attacks have ended with somebody getting hurt. CPW says most of those cases, a dog had something to do with leading the attack.
And one thing you want to know about the weather today is we're going to cool it down after 91 degrees yesterday, 70s and 80s along the Front Range with an afternoon shower or thunderstorm. And tomorrow more the same except a few degrees cooler.